Pass. 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 Smash.
Hello everybody on YouTube, it's your boy, the Memphis XL. Alright, welcome you back to Check This Out. The show, we take a look at whatever deck we want to take a look at, being a troll deck, rogue deck, casual deck, or meta deck, and we have ourselves a good old time with it. Today, everybody, we have ourselves a nice combination of Ryzeals and Traptrix, a combination of control action and exceed swarming. It's a whole bunch of summoning out of monsters and annihilating our opponent one way or the other. So we got ourselves our deck here today. We're going to show off the wombos and the combos, the what do's and the what not do's, and having ourselves a good old time. So of course, big old shout out to Mr. the JRPG King, who asked us to take a look at this deck a while ago, and I'm thankfully finally getting to the darn thing. But I think it'll be worth the wait, because we have ourselves a nice combination of cards, and I'm really looking forward to showing it off for all y'all today. So of course, don't forget up all the good buttons down below if you want to help support the channel. And if you want the whole deck profile, that's going to be at the end. And we're going to have a link in the description to our Discord where you can download the whole deck onto your yugioh Pro with a YDK file, or however it is, because I always forget what it's called. But yeah, we got the files, we got the deck profiles, we got the duels, we got it all. So enough talking, let's get right into the action and show off what this baby can do. Alright everybody, our first opponent, another day and another card game. You primarily want to go first in this deck, but you can also just as well go second. And let's see, well this is definitely looking like a Traptrix hand. You know, you get your Ryzeal hands, you get your Traptrix hands. There's a bit of A and B. For now though, thinking which way I want to go with this. I'm thinking Traptrix Murmelo. Good old Murmelo was always nice. That's going to search me out more traps. We're going to get Halacia. Good old Halacia. I won't explain this part too much. It's pretty basic stuff in Traptrix. We're going to start out with good old Sarah. Good old Sarah. Now that we've Link summoned, I can actually use my spicy tech, which is Parallel Exceed. Really cool monster. You can just summon it out, summon another copy of itself from the deck, get a free rank 4 on the board to start the duel off. Oh, very good. So let's go ahead and set our Halacia for a hot second while I decide on who I'm going to exceed into first. Because there's a lot of different options there. I could go for Duo Drive. Let's see here. That'd probably be a good idea to get the whole combo wombo off. Yeah. So we're going to go ahead and go for Ryzeal Duo Drive. We're going to put him over here for now. We're not going to use his effect just yet, though, because we don't want to potentially lock ourselves into anything. We're going to have total freedom of movement. We're going to use Halacia's effect to summon itself as a monster, and that's going to activate good old Sarah's effect and get me a... I'm feeling Dianaya, because that way I can reuse my whole trap I just got rid of, and make another Exceed monster, and I'll be A-okay. So go ahead and set up our Floodgate Trap Hole, and Sarah's going to use her effect. You know, this is probably like the best this is going to go, because sometimes when you go for Ryzeals first, you do lock yourself out of your Link. So it's actually really cool that we can just do this as is now. So for now, I'm going to set up Delusionary Trap Hole. Yeah, I think that'll work. The reason we're just going to go for that over anything else is so that we can just have a lot of interrupts on my opponent. For now, we'll go for Pina Colada. She's going to let me search out another one of my Traptrixes. We'll detach Halacia here. And we'll have a nice opening board in a hot second. I do need to do a little bit more, though, because the Ryzeals haven't even done their shtick yet. So we're going to activate our Duo Drive's ability. Go ahead and detach a couple of materials from that. That's going to get me 2 Ryzeal cards. So we're going to go ahead and X Ryzeal. And we're going to go ahead and get our Plasma Hole. One fancy thing about this whole situation is that the Traptrix Sarah, she can search out Plasma Hole. It is a normal hole trap after all. So just something to keep in mind. But let's go ahead and use our X Ryzeal's effect. We have to ditch a Exceed to the grave. So we'll ditch Aggregator for now. Bring out our X Ryzeal. Very nice indeed. Have him on the board. And yeah, you see, this is the thing. If you have Sarah, you can't use X Ryzeal. So there's one of those not do's to do. But it's all good. It's all good in the hood. We have a pretty nice opening board for the most part. I'm fine with it. I probably should have put extra defense, but other than that, pretty darn sweet. Also, I finally got my opponent's sleeves working. These have been broken the longest time. So I got to make some nice new sleeves for my opponent to have. For now, they get the wonky smiley face. I get the nice little wonky smiley face sleeves. But yeah, we have a nice opening hand here. You know, it would have been even better if I had like another Ryzeal in my hand I could summon out. Then I could have gotten Dreadnader on top of everything else to start popping my opponent's cards during their turn. That'd be really, really, really potent. But I think we're okay for the most part. I've got Sarah. I've got my Trap Hole, which I can use to get rid of my opponent's cards. Thanks to me having this duo drive up in here. Got Delusion Hole, Floodgate Hole, Pina Coladas on the board. And then I got right in the camp if my opponent tries to nuke my back row. Pretty solid. Also Ash Blossoms here if I really, really need it. You know, if my opponent's playing Elemental Heroes and he tries to go Stratos, this could potentially just stop him dead in his tracks. So we'll see where this is going to go. My opponent's doing some thinking. Nothing wrong with that. It does imply they know what they're doing, though. Implies they might have some tricks up their sleeves. Alrighty, my opponent has finally decided to make their move. And it looks like they're destroying my attack position monsters. Ooh. Alrighty, well that does make things difficult. Because I do have Arachnacampa, but she's not going to be protected from this. So I'm going to go ahead and summon out Arachnacampa. Arachnacampa will protect my back row, but yeah, that was the correct move there. He will wipe out all my monsters. Oh no. Not necessarily good. But thankfully I have enough back row and things that should be able to recover from this. Hopefully, maybe. Hopefully, maybe, baby. Hopefully, maybe, baby. Okay, we'll see where else is going to go. Snatch Steal! Alright, let's see. Hold on a second. Yeah, I really don't want you doing that. Not too terribly much. So I'm actually going to bring back Traptrix Mermello, thanks to Halacia here. When Halacia gets special summoned, she actually destroys a spell trap on the board. That way my opponent might steal Arachnacampa, but my girl, she come right back. She know whose side she's on. Alright, so none of y'all snatched you. Oh, Lava Golem. Alright, so this is some sort of trappy, deck. Alright, some kind of troll deck. Probably should have expected it. Nowadays, a lot of troll decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! Nowadays. We're in a really weird format. I'm really jonesing for a new ban list at some point. I was hoping there'd be one by now, but so far, nothing in the TCG. It's kind of weird. Okay, so Hidden Armory, plus Lightning Vortex, plus Snatch Steal. Oh, this must be Mikanko's. Okay. This very heavily implies this is a Mikanko deck. I say this because there's very few decks of this certain caliber, and I played against Mikanko's a fair number of times. I'm pretty sure I know what this is. But anyway, you do you, I do me. I'm going to use Traptrix Mantis, and my opponent surrenders like a baby. Complete baby. Okay, to be fair, I had another Ash Blossom. I had Floodgate Hole if he actually managed to summon a Mikanko. But I'm 95% sure this is a Mikanko deck. There's very little else it could be. Let's put it that way. So we were able to easily clap the Mikanko duelist. You know, they did some thinking. They were planning some stuff. But we had counters to all their machinations. So let's go ahead for duel number 2. Show off more what this deck can do, because there's still a lot more that it can do. And I want to show off as much as humanly possible. Alrighty, second opponent. Let's go and do it again. Alrighty, once again, just trying to go first as much as we can. Maybe, maybe if everything goes perfectly here, I can try to do going second in the last duel. That would be fine. Nothing wrong with that. Let's see, a Ryzeal monster. Sword's the guy we usually go for later. So for now, we're going to go for Traptrix Pudding Cup, because she allows me to get a lot of the good things started with the Traptrixes. Lets me get my Traptrix Garden. Sadly, I don't have the Traptrix I'd normally like to have here, but it's better than nothing. So we'll summon out Traptrix Sarah. And we're going to activate Traptrix Arachnacampas effect, bring her out on the board. And this will let me get out any trap card I want. That way, I can just get, doesn't really matter too much right yet. But look at Halacia, so I can get things started later. And we're going to go ahead and almost forgot. Field Spell. Yeah, Traptrix Orchard. Lets me get myself another card on the board. That way I can summon out a good old Dionaya. And when Dionaya gets summoned out, I can just bring back Traptrix Pudding Cup. Good old Pudding Cup. Let's see, who else do I want to summon here? Because I normally like to go for a Flesia, but there's nothing wrong with a good old Pina Colada, too. I'm thinking Pina Colada. You know, I could also go for a Fleege. I could use any trap hole in my deck once per turn, which is pretty solid. Pretty solid that, but I'm thinking we can do just fine doing this. So for now, I'm going to go ahead and get Traptrix Mantis. That way next turn, provided everything goes exactly to plan, I will be able to summon out Mantis, search out Murmello, get another trap card, go out the wazoo. Or if need be, just go for Sword Ryzeal. What the heck is this? Is that Vendread? Ooh, it's Vendread. Okay, I haven't seen Vendreads in a long time. Let's see. Reveal a Vendread, summon this card, banish leaves the field. What does this do? Summon a Vendread from the deck. Alright, we'll see where this is gonna go. I have not seen Vendreads in a long time. Definitely an older archetype that could use some love. Lot of old archetypes need love. Vendread's definitely one of them. Alright. You got the Hounds. Got some good old Hound action. Good old Streeges. Alright, we'll see where this is going to go. So I know... Let's see, what are we going to... Oh, just going to go for Savior. Okay. That's totally fine. Because he's going to try and search out his ritual spells. That's the part we need to stop. Because Vendreads are all ritual focused, except for this guy. But they're all about the ritual summoning. They want to get their boys on the board. And is that crazy looking crow thing? I remember this dude. I tried playing him in a deck once. Let's see, what does he do again? I don't know if it was a cool thing. Summon if you have a zombie. You can return this card to the hand. Summon a zombie from the hand. Uh-huh. Alrighty. Volcarion the Rotting. This guy looks like a Magic the Gathering card or something. Maybe if the art was a little bit more, what's the word? A little less bright and cheery, maybe? But regardless, yeah, he's got his big old Phoenix. He got back his spell. He can't use it again right in a moment, but he has it. And he can use Savior to weaken any monster that he battles into, so that's pretty good. Yes, this is fine. Yeah, my plan here is, since I have Sarah and I've got Halacia, as soon as this dude special summons something that I don't want him to have, I'm going to use Halacia. That'll bring out a monster, activating a trap at the same time. And then Sarah will bring out Puddin' Cup, and Puddin' Cup can banish a special summon monster. So long as, you know, when she gets special summoned, she will banish a special summon monster for a turn and a half. So that's probably the best call here. Let's see, what are you doing? What does this do again? Target a monster opponent's graveyard, summon to your field in defense mode. That could be tricksy. I guess I'll use Halacia now. Was not expecting him to steal my Puddin' Cup. Alright, this could be tricky. Trap tricky, you might say. Alright, so Puddin' Cup is going to target somebody. Who is a good question? Okay, you're going to target Halacia, which I don't know how that's going to work interacting-wise, but we'll find out. For now, though, we'll go for our Puddin' Cup. And our Puddin' Cup is going to banish this vampire. I don't want him to have a big old monster. So this is actually going to activate a couple different effects. Pina Colada will attach his monster to itself, making Pina Colada immune to zombies. Which is pretty dang sweet. And I'm actually going to go for... I could go for Thruster. You know, I'm going to go for Hole Thruster. I'm just thinking, you know, we need to get into them Ryzeals, you know what I mean? And I got to level 4, so all I need to do is normal summon Ryzeal boy here. And I'll be all set for days. What are you going to do? Felgrand. Oh. He's the biggin. Target a monster opponent controls or in the grave and banish it. Okay. I mean, I won't work on Pina Colada anymore. So, good use on that one. Good use on that one. So, if a monster special summon from the grave while this card's on the field, target a face-up monster and negate its effects. Okay. Well, thankfully, thanks to my orchard, I cannot be bested once per turn in a battle. So, while this Felgrand was nasty, he picked the wrong target for it. Picked the wrong card to mess up with me, sir. Alright, now it's our turn. Ooh, a perm for later. Nothing wrong with a good old implement for later. What are you going to do? You're going to, let's see, is there anything you would special summon? Oh yeah, Puddin' Cup should be going off now. Or at some point. Maybe Halacia's gone forever, and that makes me sad. That does make me a bit sad. Let's see. We're going to normal summon our Sword Ryzeal. And when Sword Ryzeal gets normal summoned, I get to add one of my boys to my hand. So, let's see. Who do I want to get to the hand? I could go for X Ryzeal. Nothing wrong with that. I gotta go for Star Ryzeal. I'm going to get Star Ryzeal to my hand. He's the newer Ryzeal monster, which I didn't even know there was ever a new one of these dudes. But by detaching Dionaya, I can summon out Star Ryzeal, and he's going to set me a Ryzeal spell trap. Now, we already have our Plasma Hole, which is good. We want to have Plasma Hole. But I'm going to go ahead and get a Ryzeal plugin. It's basically like a monster born for rank 4 Exceed monsters. Works on any Exceed or Ryzeal that's banished or in the grave. It's pretty dang neat. And with that, I'm thinking could just go for Dreadnator. He is nice and big. Right, he's 3,000 points of big. So I'm thinking that's probably the best call here. Let me think. Yeah, let's just go for this. Let's just go for the Dreadnator. Now, when this guy gets Exceed summoned, I'm going to go ahead and get back one of my ladies. Put it as material on the Dreadnator. And then, I can attach... What was it? The Exceed monster will be destroyed and detach materials from my monster. And then, what was the other thing? My opponent activates stuff. I can detach materials to pop my opponent's cards. Really good for just interrupting my opponent's flow. And I still have my extra normal summon, so let's go for Mantis. I'm thinking get myself another Arachnocampa so I can use one as a material. Sounds like a good plan to me. So that way we should pretty much have like the perfect board. More for this deck. This is like pretty much the perfect board here. Because we got like everything here. We've got Traptrixes, we've got Gravedigger holes for hand traps and graveyard effects. Really good against zombos. And what rank 4 can we make? Because I unlocked rank 4s because of my Ryzeal monsters. That's why we have so many different rank 4s in this deck. And, I don't need Duo Drive. I could go for Duo Drive. That is true. Let me think about this. I'm going to go... Yeah. We'll make Duo Drive because he will give my monsters a little bit of a boost and weaken my opponent's monsters. I think that will work swimmingly. For now, though, I'm going to go ahead and... Let's see. Target physical cards of the number of Ryzeal Exceed control and blow them up. Sure. I'm going to use my Thruster Hole and destroy both my opponent's zombos. Yeah, I don't even worry about this. What could this be? It could be a lot of things. But if he activates anything, Detonator's going to go off. So this should be A-okay for me. So Pina Colada will do her thing once more. And we are pretty much all set. You know, the control aspect of the Traptrix really coming into its own right here. The fact that the Ryzeals were able to just blow stuff up with that Plasma Hole, really helpful here. And even if my opponent does something, I can pop his cards. So depending, depends on what they are, but they'll be able to help pretty good. So let's see here. And I could Exceed summon now into whom I don't recall, but I don't need to use that right now. I could, but I don't need to. For now, let's special summon Murmillo, so I can pop whatever this face down is, and that ought to be game, set, and match. I don't think there's anything my opponent can do here. So let's go ahead into the battle phase, wipe this guy out. Nice little back and forth there for a bit. I always like to see some Vendreads, but unfortunately for them, well, I had Ash Blossom, but that kind of makes things a moot point. Really, I don't care for playing Ash Blossom everywhere, but sometimes against some decks it's a necessity, but I hate using it here. So, for now, Dreadnator, go right ahead. You didn't get to do anything, so you get to be the one to finish this off. So, good on us for duel number 2. Again, showing up. This is what the deck wants to do. We're having some good duels. I'd like to have some more back and forth, though, so let's go for one more opponent. And we'll make it harder for us, so we're going to try our hardest to go second. Alright, everybody, our third and final opponent, the last chance at romance, the fight in third. And we're going to be going, well, first. I was hoping to go second. When I saw that I lost the rock, paper, scissors, I was like, okay, I get to go second like I wanted. Nope. Not allowed to do what I want to do. Alright, so the question is, what do I want to do? Because if you start with X Ryzeal, that's like your one-card start 'em up. Thinking here. I do typically like to start with the Traptrix in here just because they have a bit more of a going first aspect to them. Don't get me wrong, Ryzeals can do that too, but you need certain stuff to do that. So we'll start with this. We'll start with that. We'll go for our good old Seta. We'll We're going to go for good old-fashioned Traptrix Murmelo. We'll search out whatever trap I need. In this case, I'm going to add Halacia and set Halacia, because I can play Halacia if I happen to send another trap hole to the graveyard from my hand. That way I get 2 of these set up, so I get all the revives in the world. You know, longevity doesn't need to really be a concern here. I just need stuff on the board. And let's see. Well, although I will say I could have gone for Dianaya there too, but this can actually work just as well. We'll summon Dianaya. When she gets summoned out, I can recover one of my trap holes in the graveyard. Put that right about there. Start talking like a pirate for whatever reason. Anyway, so let's go ahead and link off. Alright, exceed off. What am I talking about? What do we call it? Exceed summon. Go into Pina Colada. Gonna go ahead and attach Murmelo, I suppose. And we're gonna add ourselves an Arachnocampa. Yes. And we'll have all that set up. No hand traps on my opponent. Which could be good or bad depending on what exactly we're up against. That could be a good or a bad thing. And I think we're okay for now. Like, I could go for Arachnocampa, and I could get out more stuff, but I think we're fine. I think we're okay for now. I think we're okay, because I got my Halacia set up. I can play it, get out a monster, get out another Traptrix, go for more combos and wombos. I've got my Ryzeal for next turn, where I'll be up against a React the Slime. Slimy! Okay. Alright, so this is some sort of Egyptian god Ra deck. Okay. Like, 90% of the time you see this dude, it's Winged Dragon of Ra Turbo. It could be something else, but it's absolutely not something else. Okay, I can tell you with 100% certainty, that is not what this is. So he's got the Winged Dragon of Ra. Let's see. Add a ring and a draw. Tribute summon right now. That could be difficult. Because that's a normal summon, not a tribute summon. Thinking here. Yes, because now he's banished this. If he tribute summons, the monster will gain the attack of the monsters that he tributizes. So my thought process is that he's going to go for... Oh, wow, that's way worse than I was thinking. That's like 1 billion times worse. That could be Gameski. Alright. I'm gonna have to... That's not necessarily good. Because now he can tribute my stuff. Oh, balls. He tributized me, Captain. Alright. Winged Dragon of Ra, and it's like 12,000 attack points. Let's see. So now that you're attempting to do stuff, and that was a normal summon, so I still can't do that. Let's see. I can activate my Terrifying Trap Hole, though, to blow this up. So, and then banish Winged Dragon of Ra. Yeah. I'm sorry to say, my man, now you're in a bit of a tricky pickle. You only have 100 life points left. Now, did I remember to put in... I did not put Heartland Draco in the main deck. Which would have been good, but I didn't do that. But my opponent surrenders anyway. My brother, I understand your frustrations, but you can do better than that. You can do better than that. Alright, well, thankfully, we had just the right trap on the field. If I didn't have Delusion Hole, I think I still could have won. I still think, because I had Halacia, I can just bring it back whoever to block Ra's attack. That was the most important thing, because he did not go... let's see. Faded by Cross-Hole and one card... Can't almost special summon. He said Divine Beast. Oh, I guess he couldn't summon Slime right at the moment. I thought God Slime was a divine monster. I guess he is. No, he's an aqua monster. That's right. Okay, so he couldn't summon his Egyptian God Slime. Well, I was going to be able to stop Winged Dragon of Ra from attacking, and that's probably why he was going to surrender one way or another. Because if he couldn't OTK me, then you know my opponent just was not prepared to do the OTK. He shot his shot too soon, basically. So let's go for the end screen. We'll talk more about this deck here. Alrighty, everybody, so our Traptrix Ryzeal deck went pretty darn hard today, and that's what I wanted it to do. You know, it's a deck that's all about trying to go first, setting up a board, interrupting the opponent just a little bit, minus any floodgates or anything like that. Well, the only floodgate we're playing is this one, but you know what I mean. And we just try to interrupt our opponent just a little bit after we set ourselves up, and then hit our opponent really darn hard. It's really the best of both worlds, because that's what both Ryzeal and Traptrix have in common. They're both like going first, set things up, and then hit the opponent hard after doing some interruptions on the opponent sort of styles. That's what they do, and they combo well off of each other. They honestly do. So we got to show off the deck pretty dang well today. We didn't see every little combo, unfortunately. You know, there was a couple cards we didn't get to like have a really opportunity to do, like Excitecon Knight and Eclipse Twins, things of that nature. But for the most part, you get a good understanding of what this deck is all about. You just set up the board, hit the opponent really hard after you just stop them from, you know, comboing off on you. So that's today's deck, everybody. I hope you very much enjoyed it. Don't forget to hit up all the good buttons below to let me know that you like what we're doing. And, you know, help the channel out. That's what we like. So here's the deck profile. Take a look at it, enjoy it, use it as you like. I guess it's going to be on our Discord as well. I also have to put the balance one up on there as well, which I'm going to try to do right after this video. So here's the deck profile as well, in case you don't want to go through all of that. Take this deck out, have yourselves a good old time with it. So for the main deck, we have 2 copies of our Parallel Exceed, nice little tech to go with Sarah. You can play 3 of this if you want, but I find that 3 can sometimes be bricky. So I prefer this card at 2, and it works just fine for me. 1 copy of Star Ryzeal. When special summon gets me Ryzeal spell traps. Dianaya. She can get me my monsters when she's normal summoned, and my traps back when she's special summoned. I played the 1 Ice Ryzeal, which you might think is weird. Like, you know, you can play 2 of this darn thing, which maybe I probably could have. It could have worked even better if I played 2. Maybe, I don't know. I tested it with just 1. It was just fine. If you want to go for 2, go right ahead. Nothing wrong with that. If you want to switch out, I don't know, maybe a Pudding Cup, maybe, or one of the trap holes. Not sure, but if you want to play it at 2, nothing wrong with that. I find if 1 is just okay. Now, for our more things, we got Traptrix Mermello at 2 for trap hole searching and spell trap removal. 3 matches for searching out all the Traptrix monsters in the deck. 2 copies of Ryzeal Sword. When it's summoned out, you can just search out light pyros from the deck to the hand. If you throw Ryzeal on the field of the grave, you can just special summon it from the hand. Locks you into rank 4s, but that's kind of the game plan. A 1 copy of Node Ryzeal. You can just summon it from the hand if you have an Exceed on the board, and it can revive your Ryzeals from the grave. 3 copies of Rat in the Canva for protecting our back row and an additional monster on the board. 2 copies Pudding Cup, because you get me my field spell, and bringing her back banishes special summon monsters. 2 copies of X Ryzeal as our 1 card stop for the whole combos. You know, you ditch a card from the extra deck, summon this card out, bring out another, you know, you bring out the Fire Thunder monster, which is the sword. You know, summon Ryzeal, get another Ryzeal, whoever you need it to be. So 1 card stopped a whole combo right there. 3 copies of Ash Blossom, because Ash Blossom can be very important. Much as I hate playing this in every deck, I try to avoid it when I can. But in this situation, it's rather helpful. It kind of reminds me of Old Hat in a way. But we like our Ash Blossom so that we can have a little interrupting my opponent's free swarming and searching and things of that nature from the deck. So we can run that at 3. We have 1 Triple Tactical Talents in case we get Ash Blossom. 1 Bonfire, which I hate that it's at 1. My poor volcanic brothers. But it's very important as well because you can just search out my Sword Ryzeal here. We have 1 copy of Ryzeal Plugin, which is a newer spell of theirs, which is a neat little card. Basically, you can target an Exceed or Ryzeal that's banished from the grave, bring it back, attach a Ryzeal card from the deck to an Exceed monster you control. Now, you can't attack for the rest of your time except with rank 4s, but again, that's our whole game plan. But it's a nice thing for an emergency kind of monster born of an Exceed monster. Pretty darn solid. It especially worked well with Baguska if you really are in a tight spot. 1 copy Ryzeal Cross, which is our field spell number 2. You got enough Ryzeals on the board after you've used up Garden. This could be pretty useful because you detach materials to negate your opponent's monster effects after the cut. So basically, your opponent activates something, you detach, just negates that effect. It doesn't activate, it just happens. So it's really hard for the opponent to get around this. And of course, we have our Traptrix Garden, which gives us additional normal summons. Traptrix from being beaten over in battle. I can also banish monsters to bring back Traptrix, but you rarely do that effect, but you could do it. Triple Impermanence, sort of the same thing with Ash Blossom, just to slow the opponent down just enough, especially if you end up going second in this deck, you'll want to have Imperm. We have ourselves 1 Traptrix Trap Hole Nightmare, so I can negate things that are special summoned. I got my double Grave Digger Trap Hole, because hand and grave effects are just very prevalent in this game. One copy of Ryzeal's Plasma Hole for targeting face-up cards and blowing them up while I Exceed monsters of the Ryzeal variety on the board. And I can also banish it to Exceed Summon as a quick effect if I happen to need it. We have our Floodgate Trap Hole to flip things face down. We have our triple Traptrix Hellacia, best trap hole in the deck, because it's a trap monster sort of thing. Bring it out on the board, and I can banish it to revive a Traptrix from my graveyard and trigger out a whole bunch of effects. And lastly, we have our Terrifying Trap Hole Nightmare, which my opponent special summons a monster during a turn. It can be any special summon monster at any point. You can activate this card to destroy a monster with 2,000 more attack points. If you have a hole in the graveyard, you can banish a monster from the opponent's graveyard. So as for the extra deck, we'll do the lightning round here. We got Traptrix Sarah as our starter, Calaria if we have to get into a grind game, we have Adipus if we need to beat over stuff, we have Traptrix Repletion to copy any trap hole in the deck, we have Exciton Knight to wipe out my opponent's boards, Baguska to slow things down, Time Thief for Do if I want to screw with my opponent, we have Pina Colada to search out more Traptrix monsters and make herself immune to stuff as I'm equipping more materials onto her. We have Eclipse Twins, which I can ditch to the graveyard, and then I can get back my Exceed monsters from the grave. One becomes material to the other. It's pretty neat. We have Utopia and the Lightning if I just need to beat over stuff. It doesn't always work with the whole, Ryzeal combo, but if you be careful, it works just fine. We have our Ryzeal Duo Drive, which can weaken my opponent's monsters, search out more Ryzeal cards with the works. We have good old Detonator, which is just our big old beefy boss monster here. My opponent does stuff, I can detach materials to pop my opponent's cards. When he's summoned out, he gets another material onto himself. And if Exceed monsters would be nuked, I can just detach materials from Detonator instead. Lastly, we have our two other cards for our Ryzeal combo. We have Valen, the super-sized Sky Blaster. Just a card that if it's sent to the graveyard, then I can target and destroy a set card on the field, which, it's just a useful thing. My opponent's got set cards, spell trap, monsters, whatever. Just a nice card to be able to blow stuff up. Again, very much a going second choice, but it can work out just fine with Ryzeal. And lastly, we have Mereological Aggregator. When sent to the graveyard, you can target a face-up card on the board and then negate its effects till the end of the turn. So another good card for Ryzeal. And if you attach it with Detonator and then detach it for Detonator, you get a free negation right there. It's pretty neat. So that's the side deck. Couple little things in here or there. Again, another Parallel Exceed if you find you need it. Same with another Ice Ryzeal. There's things like Phantom Knight Shade Brigandine, which is very useful if you get it going first. Because then it's a free monster on the board. Same thing as Hellacia, but without having to discard cards. But if you don't get it in the first turn, it's completely useless. So, I prefer Hellacia, but you could run one of this if you felt like it. There's also other trap hole cards, lots of different trap hole cards. Spikes is just an option as well. If you want to stop your opponent from just attacking you or what have you, if you want to add some burn damage onto things, there you go. There's also some other link monsters if you find that you get into a grind game again, and you just want to, hit your opponent with something really big. Access code, it can add some more beefy damage and a pop on your opponent. Although since all of our links in this particular build are all Earth, you don't get as much mileage out of this thing, but it can be, it can help you. We also have things like Heartland Draco. If your opponent's stalling on you, you need to attack directly. We do have some face-up spell trap action in this deck, so it's a potential attacking directly of your opponent. There you go. If you find you need it, go right ahead for it. And lastly, we have things like Typhon and AA Zeus for obvious reasons. They're pretty obvious monsters to have in this deck. But because we're so focused on rank 4s, I abstain from them. So that's today's deck, everybody. I hope you very much enjoyed it. Next time, we're taking a look at a dinosaur deck we got via our Discord that focuses on not only traditional dinosaurs, but also pendulum dinosaurs. It's going to be very interesting, that one. So until next time, everybody, stay safe and happy. Have a wonderful day. Till next time, y'all take care.